Good morning, dear community, and welcome to the House of Jin Shin. Are we all ready for day 18 of the House of Jin Shin events? Today, I wanted to teach you a special flow that's very, very important for lungs. So whether you have a lung project or your lungs need support at all times, this is the flow to do. You can always give this flow when you combine it with other things as well. I called it the layer 2 or second depth. Jeremiah called the depths layers. Mary really created the concept of depths. The layers make sense as well, as we were talking about the supervisor flow moving through SEL1. As the SELs come into being, we go through different layers. So this is the second layer, the second depth, which has to do with lung and large intestine. So most of you have been moving along with me every day, so we can take a little bit more liberties, and I would like you to choose the side that will work for you. So let's first see the 24. Which one feels tighter to you? 24, SEL 24 is located between the little toe and the ring toe, and you slide up a little bit. It's the peacemaker and it harmonizes chaos. So place your hands there and see which side feels tighter to you. So for me, it's the left one. So I'm gonna hold with my left hand the left 24 and with my right hand the right 2, SEL 2. So for you, let me see how I can do. You can do this lying down. So choose which side feels comfortable for you, or which one side feels more in need for you, where you feel more congestion. So I have my right hand on right SEL2 and my left hand on left SEL24. So you can reverse it, placing your right hand on the right 24 and the left hand on the left 2. So this little flow is crucial for lung issues, and you can also do this to somebody that you're living with, a loved one, and give them some love and give them some touching, because you guys can touch if you're lucky enough to live with someone. So you can do it on yourself and then give it to a loved one. So see if this congestion that you feel, or this tenderness, if it resolves. So for me, it's starting to open up. It feels less tender. I'm actually moving up a little bit to see if there's another sore spot, because we know that safety energy locations are about 3 inches the diameter, or the size of the palm of your hand, and they can move around. So one day they may be closer to the toes, and one day it may be closer up to the ankle. So see here also that you're allowing for the exhale. SEL 24 is located on the front side of the body, so helping the exhale, and SEL 2 is on the back, so helping the inhale. So inhale and exhale. So just by holding these safety energy locations, you are allowing for the breath to come into being and getting into our autonomic nervous system, where healing takes place. So feel the pulsation come up into your fingertips, and that means that the energy is spiraling all the way to core, to the center of the body and back out to the surface, as well as spiraling down the front and up the back. So we have all this spiraling going on as we feel the pulsation in our fingertips. So probably by now you don't feel any more tenderness in your 24, and mine feels much better now. So I'm going to take my hand from the 24 and bring it to the opposite 14, the base of the ribs. SEL 14 helps to balance the mind. It helps our psychology, understanding our psychology. It helps our ego, for our ego to not get into the way, and our worldly desires. which are very much part of our lives, and okay, because they just are part of us, as is the body and the spirit, the mind and the center of the body as well. So it's important that it is in harmony. So the right SEL14 tells you about how you absorb protein. So if it is sticking out or if it feels tender, it tells you something about your protein intake, and you may want to adjust it, or just be aware of it, that your body is telling you all that's going on. So just for the people who weren't watching when I was talking about the left 14, but the left 14 helps the carbohydrates. So if you eat a lot of pasta and bread and your left rib is really sticking out or tender, then you may want to adjust that. Very good. Feel the pulsation and feel the warmth of your hand. The warmth also is energy moving. Feel the warmth of your hand going into your body, and feel the pulsation of the two locations come up into your fingertip, and feel them become even. The pulsation between the two locations becoming even. Nice, even, beautiful, silky pulse. Now take your hand from the 14, whether you're on the left or the right side, and place it to the opposite high one. So for me that would be the left side, the left high one. And if you were on the left 14, you want to place it on your right side, right high one. So the high and the low safety energy locations, they help on an organ function level, and for those of you who've been studying, you will understand that. So it works on a different level, and we're always talking about different levels of density. So organ function levels, we can see the organ flows move through our body, so they're actually more manifested than the SEL flow sequences that we use. So see if there's any tenderness in the high one. So this flow helps on a little bit denser level. And that's why when you have a lung project, it's very helpful. As well as for the intestines, because lung is the ascending part and large intestine is the descending part of the second layer or the second depth. So lung and large intestine work together, and often you see if people have lung projects that there is also something going on with the large intestine, maybe constipation or loose stool, something going on, because those two are related. And it's important that both of them are functioning really well for the second depth to be in order. Very good. So you see how I'm holding it firmly, so you can hold it either very gently or hold it a little firmly. Personally, I like to hold it a little bit firmly. And I do that by kind of digging my fingers in a little bit in the location. But no forcing or pressing really hard, because then you won't feel that pulsation. Very good. So now you take your hand from SEL high 1 to the same side 13. So you have 13 and opposite 2 that you're holding. Of course, 13 helps to clear the lungs as well. It's located right at the lungs, and see if you have any tenderness in there. So 13, SEL 13 is all about self-love and creative energy. And so as we're adjusting to our situation and accepting, we can let our creative self come out, and we can start doing projects, for example, making homemade face masks and writing a nice Jin Shin quote on it, or other such things that you usually don't have time to do. That to let our creative self come out. And we all have a creative self, so this allows it to shine through. Of course, this one also helps the heart. The heart is located right here. If you're on the right side, it will still help the heart. And that's the end of the flow. So I just want to move you through the other side. If you have done one side, then go to the other side now. So it's 24 with opposite 2. Then the hand from the 24, and you probably will feel the pulsation very quickly now, so you can move through the second side a little bit quicker. Then from 24 we go to the opposite 14. Take a breath here. Then we go from the 14 to the opposite high 1. So you see how this is mediating through the body, so it has something to do with the mediator flow as well. Helping the mediator and the attitudes. And we know that second depth is related to sadness and grief. And placing your hand on your SEL 13, and I just walked past, while walking Rex past the doorman next door, and he came out to talk to me, and he said that his sister has passed away, and his best friend. So Dominique, we sending you blessings and love, because we are really starting to hear, and it can get closer to ourselves. So it's very important that we stay in harmony and we stay strong, so that we can reach out to our loved ones and take very good care of ourselves. So please move your hands to your 11s, clearing the hip line, helping to harmonize stress. Be aware of your breathing. And then SEL's 12, clearing the waistline. Surrendering and trust that everything will be okay, which Cuomo is telling me every day that it will be okay. So surrendering to a higher source and a higher power, so that we can feel in command. And then place your hands at the base of the skull, our connection to spirit, and allowing for energy to move to matter, and matter back to energy. But it's very important that SEL's 4s are open by the time we finish our session, and you feel the pulsation. Bring your hands together. And I hope you all notice that as we are going through this daily practice, that your body is now open right away. So you don't have to wait for minutes till you feel pulsation. You should feel it right away by now. And I'm so grateful that we're all tuning in together, and that you're joining me every day at the House of Jin Shin. Thank you. I love you, my community, and I'll see you tomorrow.